Welcome everyone to the Netflix Lounge. So today we are returning with our weekly event where we'll be talking about the biggest Netflix releases of the week and also just what we've been watching and loving lately on Netflix. So we would love to hear from you. So please feel free to tap the Ask to Speak button after the top 5 and please let us know your thoughts in the chat. We want to know what you watched on Netflix in the past week, what you loved, what you maybe didn't love. We want to hear it all. So let us know in the chat. And yes, there's a ton of stuff coming out this week on Netflix. There was a lot to choose from. So we're going to start out with our top 5 streaming picks for the biggest new releases coming to Netflix. So our first pick this week is a new Netflix original documentary titled Civil. It's either Civil or Civil Ben Crump. I couldn't figure out the title, but it's coming to Netflix this Sunday, June 19th. Like I said, it's a Netflix original doc, kind of a biographical / civil rights documentary about Ben Crump, who is commonly referred to as Black America's Attorney General. And it's pulling back the curtain on his life as a family man and civil rights leader. So if you're unfamiliar, Ben Crump is a civil lawyer who has famously represented families whose loved ones have been killed by police. So Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd are a few of his high-profile cases. From the trailer of the documentary, it kind of seems that it's documenting about a year of his life during the George Floyd trial. Again, the civil trial that Ben Crump represented his family on. And then some, other portions of his life, through childhood and kind of some of his upbringing. So it should be a very interesting biographical documentary.
Yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be very enlightening for sure. And just also more of a celebration of him and what he's accomplished. So I think this is going to be a really cool documentary.
Definitely. So again, that is Civil, and it will be streaming this Sunday.
Nice. Okay, so our next pick this week is called Halftime, and it'll be streaming beginning tomorrow or midnight Pacific time if you like to watch right when it airs. But it actually premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival last Friday. So I think it was its kickoff for that, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the synopsis: global superstar Jennifer Lopez reflects on her multifaceted career and the pressure of life in the spotlight in this intimate documentary. So I know today was my first time actually watching the trailer, because when I first heard this was happening, I just assumed it was just about the halftime show.
That's what I thought too. I mean, that's kind of what the title leads one to believe.
Which is kind of misleading in a way, because I was because it's that's something that happened a couple years ago. But it's not just about the halftime show. It also focuses on her career and just kind of her present day accomplishments. But yeah, it was directed by Amanda Michelli, and she's an Oscar-nominated director. And she's also had another movie premiere at Tribeca Film Festival. So she's very talented. So I'm sure it'll be stunning. But I will say, don't expect any bombshell revelations or gossips. I know if you're anticipating hearing about A-Rod and Ben Affleck, that's not going to be in there.
Although Ben is in the trailer, it looked like a present day Ben.
Yes, there is a present day Ben, but it's just a little cameo, him, a little talking head. And it seemed from the articles that I was reading, what was in the trailer, that's pretty much what we're gonna see. Yeah. So that's funny.
The extent.
Yeah, you'll take it. And I did see a little, they have archival footage. So there was you could see a little clip of them from what was it, 2002, 2003, whenever they were together. before. But yeah, so this documentary, like, it'll quickly breeze over Jennifer Lopez's rise to fame. But like I mentioned earlier, it's like mainly focusing on like present day accomplishments. I know the documentary starts with her like turning 50, and that was like a very like big deal for her. So she's like kind of like what, like she's like saying like, you know, like this is only the beginning for me. I'm just getting started. So we know like Hustlers came out a couple years ago, and that was huge. There was a lot of like Oscar buzz surrounding like her performance. Unfortunately, she didn't get nominated. Like I know that was like a huge like snub, and a lot of people were disappointed about it. So we'll probably see like her reaction to that. And then like we all saw how she lost the Golden Globe to Laura Dern. So I think like those are some heartbreaking moments that we're going to see. And then of course like the Super Bowl halftime show, which was like a big deal. But there have been like, I feel like she was upset with the fact that she was splitting her time with Shakira. So it's like they had to like break up that time. So I know it's like mentioned in the documentary that her having to split the performance was like the worst idea like that they ever came up with.
Yes, I definitely saw those headlines this past week after the premiere, and a lot of colorful language. She was very upset, which I was surprised because I thought it was such an iconic performance. I was at 2020, it must have been. It was so fun, so I was surprised. But and then I don't know. I feel like there's for Super Bowl performances, we constantly are seeing multiple artists, right? Like, I mean, obviously,
I know
this past one was so many people.
Yeah, I know. I think for hers, like that was like the first time like they split it like that. I know in the past when people had like their performances, they, you know, they could kind of choose like who they wanted to make like a guest appearance. So I feel like for her, it's more, this wasn't like on her terms. So I feel like, like I get where she's coming from, but I don't know, like it'll be interesting to see like the full context, because it did like just that quote, like it didn't come off her looking,
she's pissed.
She didn't look the greatest from that. And I know like I was seeing people like online like kind of like complaining about it, like why is she like harping on about this? But I'm like, this was filmed like a long time ago. We're just now seeing it. So
of course. And I mean, I feel like we forget about JLo. Like she has such a huge discography. Like I think she could easily fill you know, a Super Bowl halftime show solo.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and she's such a great performer. I mean, If You Had My Love, like iconic song, Love Don't Cost a Thing, on the floor. Like I love her, and I feel like we forget. And I think that was kind of the vibe and overall theme I was getting from the trailer, is she feels like she's not getting, you know, maybe like the respect or recognition she deserves for, I mean, her decades long career. Also, shout out to The Wedding Planner, one of my favorite rom-coms, if you haven't seen it.
Yes, same.
Yeah, like she has such great work that, and the thing about, like, you know, comedies and rom-coms, they're not getting these Oscar nominations, right? So I think that's something a lot of like people feel in those genres, but we love you, JLo. And I can't wait to watch this. I'm excited.
For sure. Yeah, because then I think that's why like it made like when she didn't end up winning or like getting nominated for the Oscar with Hustlers, that's what made it so hard, is I think she really thought this from like initial reactions, like, you know, this was going to happen for her.
I do remember all those articles being like Oscar worthy performance, like Oscar, you know, front runner, but
which, that's so,
get your hopes up. That's
I know, like that's horrible. So I'm very interested to see like that all go down, and like just like the reaction from her. But yeah, you're totally right. This is definitely about like, you know, her trying to like prove herself. There's a couple like critic reviews Decider said this documentary was an honest portrait of an incredibly successful performer in her 50s who still struggles every day for recognition. Michelle, who's the director, captures Lopez's raw vulnerability with compassion. And then IndieWire said, I thought this was funny, if Jennifer Lopez can suffer from imposter syndrome, we're all screwed. So, I mean...
So true. I mean, she's so wildly successful, but it's such a human feeling that she's experiencing and expressing in the documentary. So
yeah,
I get it.
And I definitely think this documentary is going to humanize her, because it's like, you know, we sometimes forget, like you said, like she's this global superstar, but at the end of the day, like they're all having the same feelings as the rest of us.
Totally. Well, I'm super excited, and this comes out tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow.
Ooh, exciting. All right, so our third pick this week is called God's Favorite Idiot, and it will be streaming on Netflix this Wednesday, the 15th. It is another Netflix original, so it's a like fantasy sitcom comedy mixture, and it's about Sweet Clark, who seems like the last person God would tap to fight evil. He'll need his office crush and good pals to help spread the word and save the world. So this was created by Ben Falcone, who is famously married to Melissa McCarthy, who will be his co-star in the show. Also Steve Mallory, Leslie Bibb, who's playing Satan, which makes me laugh, and Yannick Truesdale, which is Michelle from Gilmore Girls, who I haven't seen since Gilmore Girls. So I was excited to see him pop up on in the trailer.
I haven't either. That's cool.
Yeah, so it looks super weird.
Yeah, to put it lightly.
Yeah, I don't know if this is necessarily like, I'm not like so excited to see it. However, I mean, it's such a great cast, and I love the duo of Melissa and Ben. I think it sounds really fun. They seem to have like the best time creating it together. They've been doing a lot of interviews and press leading up to the premiere. They just have like nothing but great things to say. So I was interested to kind of get more of an understanding of the show. So I found an interview that Ben and Melissa did with MoviePhone. And this was like Ben's initial pitch for the show. So he says, this is a show about what would happen if a really unassuming person who you'd never expect is the person that God chose to help save the world. And Melissa then jumps in and says, I also think with so much craziness and negativity where everyone's like, I'm right and my ways are better than yours, in a comedic way, to be able to say, what if we're all right and what if we're all wrong? What if it's just about being kind? So I thought that was interesting. It kind of gives a little bit better context for the show. But if you love a quirky, weird comedy, I mean, get excited, because this is right up your alley. Yeah, what did you think of the trailer?
No, it was funny. I was like, at first I was like, I had to like rewind it because I totally zoned out the first 10 seconds. And like, I feel like that was a very important part, because we're seeing like this like event happen. But yeah, like you see this man just start glowing and they're like, something's going on. And they're trying to figure out.
It's a funny concept.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like they tie in a lot of things. So it's going to be interesting to see like how it's received. But like you said, it is a really good cast.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to wait this one out. I'm really curious to see Likewizer's reactions. So if you watch, I'm so curious what you have to say. So be sure, after you watch, post in the Netflix lounge. Let us know your thoughts this week. Yeah, because this looks like a quirky one. So again, that's God's Favorite Idiot, and it will be streaming this Wednesday.
Nice. Okay, so our next pick this week is called Web of Make-Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet. And it'll be streaming this Wednesday, the 15th. It's a new true crime docuseries. So let me read the synopsis for y'all. Conspiracy, fraud, violence, murder. What starts out virtual can get real all too quickly. And then when the web is worldwide, so are the consequences. So this docuseries it basically investigates how online behaviors sometimes lead to real world crimes, and then also explores how just like misinformation on the internet and deceit can impact lives. So it's a 6-part anthology series, and each episode is different. So it'll focus on a different crime, besides like the last 2 episodes, which I think are split into 2 different parts. But some of the things that'll be covered are IRS heists, swatting, counterfeit beanie babies, and then some like have led to like sexual exploitation, robbery, and murder. So it's just a lot going on. They're going to be including dramatic recreations of accounts, which is super interesting. And then they'll also include like interviews with like some of like the friends and family of people who were like affected, police and investigators and reporters. But yeah, a couple articles that I was reading, people recommended this isn't like a docuseries to binge watch. So I know there's like a lot of bingers out there. They recommend not to binge this, but more like consume it in like bite-sized pieces. So like maybe like watch an episode here or there, because like the information is a lot and it could be overwhelming. But yeah, so the director and executive producer for this is Brian Knappenberger. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But he also had other projects on Netflix, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, which I know was super huge, and also The Turning Point, 9/11, and the War on Terror. So I feel like this is definitely up his alley. But yeah, some of these crimes are like super intense, and it's just basically like kind of like how the internet can like affect us all. And I know there was like somebody wrote an article and saying like, you know, even though like this is like true, like she felt like she was watching one long Black Mirror episode. So yeah, it's just, yeah, because it's like Black Mirror, I know like they talk about like a lot of the technology and the consequences of that. So in a way it's going to be similar, but just like this is true crime. So just remember that this is real life.
Even worse. Exactly. Yeah, I will say I got instant anxiety watching the trailer. Like, I don't know. I don't think I can handle this. Ignorance is bliss right now.
I know it's definitely going to be a lot, but I feel like this is going to be super, super popular.
Oh,
like people are going to like, it's going to be interesting hearing people's takes on like the different episodes.
Definitely. Maybe I'll cherry pick episodes.
Because like I said, this is an anthology. So like, I guess when it comes out, you can kind of see like the topics and see what appeals to you, and then just go from there.
That's perfect. Yeah, I'm sure this will be a hit. It definitely sounds like the typical Netflix docuseries that typically blows up on Likewise with everyone's interest. So I wouldn't be surprised if everyone really likes it. Again, let us know your thoughts in the Netflix lounge this week if you watch. I'll cautiously check it out. Like you said, cherry pick the different episodes. Yeah. So that's Web of Make Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet. Very ominous title as well. And that'll be out this Wednesday. So our 5th pick this week is Spiderhead, and I feel like I'm very excited about this one. So it'll be streaming this Friday, June 17th, and it is also a Netflix original. It's kind of a sci-fi thriller, and I'll read the Netflix synopsis. So a prisoner in a state-of-the-art penitentiary begins to question the purpose of the emotion-controlling drugs he's testing for a pharmaceutical genius. So obviously that had me really curious. I did a little bit more digging. And so basically you can, if as a convicted felon, you can opt in to go to this kind of minimum-ish security prison where they're able to wander around and like talk with other inmates in exchange for, being a guinea pig for these different like mind-altering drugs from this pharmaceutical genius, as they say. And it is starring Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller and Journey Smollett. So Teller, he is currently, taking a bunch of different drugs, whether they're drugs that make him, uncontrollably laugh or make everything around him more beautiful. But as he starts to question his assignments when he's tasked with deciding which prisoner gets a dose of Darkenflox, which is a drug that makes the user extremely sick to the point that they almost immediately want to kill themselves. So that's kind of the crux, I imagine, of the story, and what Miles Teller will do. I think it looks so interesting. I thought it was a really great trailer, great cinematography, interesting story. I'm so curious, like, how it's going to go. I'm anticipating some kind of escape, mainly because it's based on a short story by George Saunders, called Escape from Spiderhead. And you might recognize him. He wrote Lincoln in the Bardo, which was a super, super popular book. I think it was like 2016 or 2017 that won a bunch of awards. So, yeah. How did you feel about the trailer?
No, it looks super good. It's funny because, again, this was the first time today, like, that I watched the trailer. I thought I had already seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I follow Chris Hemsworth on Instagram. He posted like a clip from the movie, which I thought was like the trailer, but it was just actually like just a clip from the movie. Which is really interesting. And then I guess seeing the actual trailer, I'm like, okay, now like this makes sense because I have more context to what I watched before. But yeah, like it looks super good. I definitely think this is going to be a hit. I'm excited to watch it. And I think, I don't know, Chris Hemsworth, between this and like the new Thor movie next month, he's going to solidify his spot at number 2 Chris for me. So
who's number 1?
Chris Evans, of course.
Right,
whose birthday is
down.
today, actually.
Shout out Chris Evans if you're listening. Happy birthday. Amazing. I want to mention Spiderhead's also directed by Joseph Kosinski, who just directed Top Gun Maverick and directed Miles Teller in Top Gun Maverick. So he's having a great summer. Miles is having a great summer, as well as Chris. So another fun duo if you enjoyed that movie. But yeah, it looks good. And I was looking up some reviews. There's not a ton out yet, but Collider says it's one of the strangest, bizarre, and most enjoyable films of the summer. And there's been a lot of praise for Chris Hemsworth, like people saying he's never been better, like his best role yet. So,
oh wow, yeah, I love that for him.
Me too. So yeah, Spiderhead. I think it'll be good. I'm excited. But yeah, that's our top 5 this week. So I'll quickly recap. Our first pick, Civil Ben Crump, is premiering this Sunday. Halftime, J-Lo's new Netflix documentary will be out tomorrow. God's Favorite Idiot with Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone will be streaming on Wednesday. Web of Make-Believe, Death, Lies, and the Internet, new true crime docuseries, will be streaming this Wednesday as well. And then, of course, Spiderhead will be out on Friday. So last week we mentioned Netflix is a Joke Festival. That was, I think, about last month in LA. They filmed a bunch of the specials that are slowly premiering throughout the month. So some of the standout comedy specials that are coming to Netflix this week. Currently today, Pete Davidson Presents The Best Friends is now streaming, came out earlier today. Tomorrow, it'll be Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, called Ladies Night Live. And then this Thursday, Snoop Dogg's Effin' Around comedy special will premiere.
That's so him, like the title.
Right. So a great lineup. I'm curious. I haven't watched any of the Netflix as a Joke specials, but it seems like from the trailers that it's like part stand up, part maybe like sit down interviews, and like conversations. So it looks interesting. So again, let us know if you're watching. I wanna know which ones I should prioritize. But Yeah, great lineup this week for sure. And then for our Netflix news segment, I feel like there's been a lot of announcements in the last couple of days. Yesterday, Netflix officially announced that Squid Game is getting a season 2. It's officially been greenlit.
Okay,
And
I
for some
might
reason, I felt like
miss.
we already knew this.
Okay, thank you, because I saw like the little posting yesterday, and I was like, I thought this was confirmed months ago, but I guess yeah.
Same.
So that like threw
Like
me.
right after the show blew up, it was like, yeah, we're
Yeah,
working on season 2. So I guess Netflix is finally addressing it, perhaps. But yeah, it kind of felt like old news to me. I was seeing it posted everywhere yesterday. So wait,
yeah.
glad I'm not
Okay,
alone.
glad I'm not the. Yeah,
Either
same.
way, I'm equally as excited. They have a lot to live up to for season 2, so
I know, no
best
pressure.
best of luck. um, and then this morning, a little kind of teaser announcement. We have a title for the new Knives Out movie sequel, if you will, where Daniel Craig is reprising his role in a Knives Out with in addition to a new cast. So the title reveal, drum roll, is Glass Onion, which is so random. It's called
Yeah.
Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, and they said it'll be coming out this holiday season. So that'll be a fun one to watch with the fam over the holidays. And yeah, so it's starring Daniel Craig, like I said, and then the new cast will be Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwich, Madeline Klein, a Netflix darling, if you will, from Outer Banks, Kate Hudson, and Dave Bautista. So a really, really great cast.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I loved the first one.
Me too. It was such an unexpected, great movie. So I'm excited for this one too.
Yeah,
And
they
I believe it
also
takes
have.
place in Greece. So it'll be I'm picturing some beautiful
Oh,
cinematography again. No chunky sweaters
okay,
though.
yeah. And no, I
Speaking
was
of Chris
like,
Evans.
right? I was like wanting him to come back, but I understand. New cast.
Exactly. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that one. And honestly, the holidays, I was going to say, not that far away, even though, summer's just starting. But I feel like they typically announce stuff so far out. So this wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I could see, because I think the last one came out like around Thanksgiving holidays, so I could see that happening again.
Yeah, perfect timing. And then this one was really exciting to me. A new TV series was just announced, which means we probably won't see it for a very long time. But it's called The Brother's Son, and it's been making headlines because they just announced some of the cast. So Michelle Yeoh will be the lead of a new Netflix upcoming series. It's going to be super action-packed, dark comedy / drama, family soap, a little bit of everything. And it's going to be 8 episodes, and it has an all Asian writing room as well as cast for every episode, which is really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and Michelle, she's just having like the best year, coming off of Everything Everywhere All at Once, which has just been such a huge hit. If you haven't seen it, oh my gosh, it's my favorite movie of the year.
Didn't they say it's like the most something? It just passed some like mark for like A24 film or something, like the top grossing one or something.
Oh, I love that.
I could have sworn that's the case, but don't quote me.
I believe it. Give them all of the awards, everything. And it was kind of reminding me of that too, because it's very much a genre mashup, like this show is describing. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, go to see it in theaters. I think it's on demand now as well, that you can rent or buy. But yeah, I'm sidetracking myself. But the new show, The Brother's Son, it's going to follow a Taipei gangster, Charles' son, who settled into his life as a ruthless killer. But when his father is shot by a mysterious assassin, Charles must go to LA to protect his mother, Michelle Yeoh, and an utterly unaware younger brother. So it sounds really good. I'm excited for this one. I don't want to get too excited because, again, they just announced casting, so it's not even in production yet. It's going to be a while. But I thought I'd let you guys know because that got me excited. And then the other Netflix news that dropped is Kid Cudi has a new animated love story coming to Netflix titled Intergalactic. And I saw he had posted on Instagram kind of like a teaser trailer. and it's a really cool animation, very much in like Kid Cudi's color scheme. And it's has a really great cast. So it's starring Jessica Williams, Timothy Chalamet, Laura Harrier, Ty Dolla $ign, Vanessa Hudgens, who, I mean, she's everywhere in everything lately.
I know, like I feel
I'm
like
so
she's
confused.
hosting, she's starring in
Truly,
everything. Like, yeah, this is her
she's got
time.
an A+ PR team over there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I love Kid Cudi. This looks really cool, and a great cast. I'm excited. No dates, but if we're already getting a teaser trailer, I can't be too far away. So yeah, those are things just that we're looking forward to. Big announcements this week. So moving on to what we all have watched, please let us know in the comments what you've been watching on Netflix this past week. There's a ton of premieres that came out. There was a lot of stuff I was excited about last week. I didn't get to too much. I'm so curious if anyone watched, was it First Kill, the new like vampire teen romance LGBTQ mashup. So let us know if you watched, because I'm so curious how it was. But
I didn't watch it, but I was seeing, I feel like people online are liking it.
okay,
Like that's the sense I'm getting.
People are tuning in. It is in the top 5 US Netflix, which to be expected. I watched Hustle, which I see CW just posted in the chat that they watched as well. So Hustle is the new Adam Sandler, what do you call it, like a sports dramedy. I really, really liked it, honestly. Let's see, CW says a pretty formulaic but enjoyable. I agree. But that's what we love, a great sports dramedy, you know? So we don't, I'm happy with the formula. But it was really good. I feel like if you're a basketball fan, you will absolutely love it. I am not a sports fan, not a basketball fan, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't realize that like all of the actors are real or like past or present basketball players. Like at the end, they do, you know, like during credits, they are showing like so and so as himself, so and so as himself. I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's so cool.
I had no clue, but they all are great actors. So
yeah, that's funny because I know when we were talking about it last week, we know like the guy who he was a basketball player like in the NBA, but I didn't realize they all were. So that's super cool.
I hope I'm saying his name correctly, but Juancho Hernan Gomez is the lead, who plays Bo Cruz, and I believe he's on. I remember Utah Jazz,
like Utah?
because I was like, I have never heard of that team. I'm kind of obsessed. So yeah, and then like a ton of other people. I'm not gonna pretend to remember the names of the players, but some huge iconic players, especially 76er past players and coaches. So yeah, again, if you're a basketball fan, and even if you're not, I definitely recommend watching. It's a good feel-good underdog story, and Adam Sandler was great in it. I was looking at the Likewise reviews, and so many people were saying this is Adam Sandler's best role, like best performance. And
wow.
I don't know if I'm going to make that such a big statement like that, but I thought he was amazing in it. Like he was really good. Yeah, I definitely recommend if you're just looking for a little feel good, again, underdog story. Who doesn't love that? Check it out. It's definitely worth a watch.
No, yeah, I'll make my way to it eventually. I definitely did tell my dad about it though, because he's a huge sports guy. So
love that. Yeah, again, something that can be accessible for all different types of, you know, genre watchers. I think it appeals to a large audience for sure. CW says, I also watched season 5 of Somebody Feed Phil, which is always delightful. Thank you for the reminder. I was so excited when season 5 dropped, and then I just completely forgot. But I love that show. Another feel-good show, I'd say. My mom keeps telling me I need to watch. Shout out Claire. She loves that show. Nice. There's so much good stuff out. What did we also want to watch last week? Let's see. Oh, Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. I was seeing a lot of people posting about that this past weekend. Again, I didn't watch it. It looks a little intense right now for me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so top 5 US Netflix for shows. Stranger Things still at number 1. Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, number 2. Number 3, Peaky Blinders, the final season. 4, First Kill. And 5, All American. And then for movies, number 1 is Hustle. 2, Interceptor. 3, Mission Impossible 4. 4th is Chicken Hair and the Hamster of Darkness. And 5, The Amazing Spider-Man. So nice. I got a nice variety there. But yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Please check out our weekly Netflix new to streaming list and the Netflix Lounge, which will get updated every Monday. So you can see the full lineup of everything coming to Netflix this week, not just the top 5. And again, please, post in the Netflix Lounge if you're watching anything we discussed this week, or, really just whatever you're watching. I'm so curious to hear everyone's thoughts. Again, I'm very curious about people's thoughts to God's favorite idiot. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, I'll be looking out for that one.
Right. So a couple exciting premieres coming up in the next couple weeks. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific in the Romance Room, we are doing a Q&A with critically acclaimed author Nisha Sharma. And then next week on Tuesday in the Romance Room, it's a best summer romance books of 2022 with a panel of book publishing experts, which will be fun. Lots to add to your, beach read TBR list. And then on Friday, next Friday, the 24th, in the LGBTQ plus lounge, there's going to be a Pride Month reading panel with some book talk creators. So lots to look forward to and lots to watch this week. So everyone have a great week and happy Netflix watching.
Happy Netflix watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Have a great night.